Hello, welcome to School of the Apps. Have you ever wondered how to use struct in Solidity to manage complex data? In this tutorial, we will dive into building a decentralized to-do list smart contract where we will explore how to create, initialize, and apply struct effectively. By the end of this tutorial, you will master struct operations and see them in action in a real-world application.
We'll be initializing a new project. We'll be creating a folder, and the name of the project will be Solidity underscore to-do list. Then we'll be opening it in our VS Code. Now we have it open in our VS Code. We'll be initializing a new package. We'll be writing npm init-y. So initialize a new package. After that, we'll be installing hardhats. So we write npm install hardhats. Now hardhat is installing. We'll just have to wait for some few minutes so that it finish the installation. Now we are done with the installation of hardhat. Now let's initialize a new hardhat project. So now after initializing a new hardhat project, we will create a folder and name it contract, and within the folder we'll create a file and name it to-do list or so. You write spdx license identifier MIT. Now this, what we just written here is we just declared the license for this code, and MIT means it's an open source, so anybody that has access to the code can make use of it. That's what it means. Then the next thing we have to write pragma solidity 0.8 0.86 8.26. Now this specifies the compiler version that the contract is compatible with. So next we'll declare the keyword contract. Then the name of the contract, we'll call it to-do list. Then a curly bracket, open our curly bracket. Then now we are going to write the first thing we have to write is the struct. Now this struct is similar to an object, and an object has properties. So this struct is having properties, and we just declare the names of the properties and their types. That's what we have just done. So an object can hold more than one property. So a struct is similar to an object. So the object, this struct now is holding more than one property, which is holding the text of the tags, and it's holding the boolean true of if it is completed or not. Now this struct serves as a representation that it will be representing a specific task. This struct will be representing a specific task. So the next thing we have to do, we have to write Now this is an array. An array is like a list. So this is the name of the array, to-do list, and the list is storing the types of information, the struct type of information. So this to-do list will be holding this struct type of information, so which is an array. So we're going to be writing the function for creating a specific task and adding it into the list. So we're going to write using the function to do that. And so we are writing the function and we are calling it create, and we are passing in the type of information that will be needed, and we're writing text. Then this function will be public, meaning it can be interacted with outside the contract. So now there are three ways we can initialize or set up or write into a struct. So remember, the struct is like an object that has property. So, and we are saying that this struct has two property. We have the of a type. The first property is of a type string, and the second property is of a type boolean. So now we want to write into we want to create a task and add it to the list. So in order to do that, we have to write into to do task, the item, the individual item, then add it to the list. And in doing that, there are three ways we can write into struct. So I want to show us the three ways we can write into a struct. So the first thing we can do is we'll say to do. Now we are calling the to do list, which is the array dot push. Array dot push meaning we are adding an item to the array. So then within the parentheses, we are calling the struct. Then we are adding the value directly. So without you calling the name of without adding the name, bringing in the name first of the item of those properties, we are just imputing the value directly, because this property has to be assigned a value. So we are just assigning the value directly without writing the name of the value again. So we just say text and we'll say false, which is a boolean value. So you can see that what is most needed is that we must arrange them properly. So in imputing the value, you can see that the string property came first. The string type of property came first. So when adding the value, we added the value, the string type of value first before the boolean. If we are to interchange it, it will throw an error. Now the second way of either we write it this way, or the second way we can also write it. Let me remove this one. Is that we can say we can also call the array then push method. Push method means we are adding a new item to the array. Then we can say to do lead task. Then we can first of all write the name of the property, which is text. Then we assign the value to it, which is the text that we passed in the parameter as an argument. So then write completed, then also write completed, also write false. We have to add it in a curly braces, curly bracket. So this is another way of writing to a struct. So we wrote, if you notice this time around, we wrote the name of the properties before writing the value of the property. Then the second property, we wrote the name and before adding the value. This is another way of writing to a struct. So the proper word is called initializing a struct. So the third way we can do that is, okay, let me remove this code, or let me comment it out for the now, because I would like us to make use of this one. So the third way we can initialize a struct, we can create the type of the struct. We can create a variable of the type to be. We are creating a variable of the struct type. Then we are calling it to do. After creating a variable of the struct type, then we can say the to do dot text equal to text. Now we have create. Then we can also say to do dot completed equals to false. Now we have finished assigning value to it. Then we can say now we can call the array to do list dot push. Now I want to add the tags into the array now dot push to do. So this is the third way we can initialize a struct. So I've shown us the three ways we can initialize a struct. So, but we'll go with the second method which I gave previously. So let me bring back the second method and let me remove the commented line. So now this is the one we'll be using. So you can see this one, we wrote the name of the struct of the properties, then we wrote the assign the value to it. The first one, we just assign the value to it without writing the name of the property. We only ensure that the value that we assigned we're in the right order in the first one we did. So after creating the create function that we can use to create a tax, then the next thing we have to do is to write another function, which is we'll call it get. This is to get the tax from the list. So we call the name, write the keyword function, and we name it get. Remember, this is we're using this function to get the tax from the list. So we're writing UN256, which is a number. Then we're writing index. Then we'll call the visibility of the function we public. Then view, meaning we are just in this function, we're not altering anything. We are just reading from the function, getting the information from the function. We're not making any changes to it. So, and the function will be returning a string. That's what we are saying now. And let me hide this part. It's only a string. I didn't spend my memory, and also a boolean.
I just noticed that we didn't close the create function, and that's what's causing the red line at the beneath the get function. So let's close it up. Let's move it up now.
So we'll be retrieving each to do task from the array that we've placed it in. So the way we are going to do it is going to be like this: chain of the type to do task, storage, and creating a variable, and we'll say it's equal to, we'll call the to do list and we'll pass in the index. What this index is doing is that whenever we add a task to the array automatically creates a number for it. So for example, if I add my best task, the array creates a number and link it to the task. So if I add another to do task, it creates another number, it increases the number and assign and I link it to the task. So the first task I'm adding to the array will be count it at 0 because it starts with 0 number. So when I add the second item to the array, it's counted as number 1. If I add the third item to the array, it's counted as number 2. So because array starts, it's counting from 0, 0, 1, 2. So this index is helping us to get a specific to-do task of a particular number. So we say, oh, get the task that is in number 1. Get the to-do task that is in number 4. For example, as that is what this index is here to do. It helps to tell which particular number that it wants the task to be retrieved. So then we return we are returning the text, which is to do dot the text of that task, and also to do dot completed. So this is a function to get a specific to do task. So we've written the function to get. Now let's write the function to update in the case where we want to update the text which we have written, the tax which we have written. Let's create a function for updating the tax. we call it update text. Then we are passing in the index. Then also pass in the string. We're passing in the string as an argument because we'll be updating with a new string. Then the visibility of the function will be public. So we're going to fetch the particular tax we want to update using the number. That's what the index will be handling. The index is telling this is the number, the tax from this particular number that we want to get. So we'll say to do tax. We are creating an array. We are creating a variable, and the variable is of the type to do tax. That's what it means there. And we are passing in. We call the variable. We are calling the variable to do. We are calling the variable to do. Then we say it's equal to the array. This is the array to do list. Then we are passing in the index, the number, the tax that we want to get using the number. So then we say, okay, to do text will be equal to the text. So now the text is being updated here.
Next, to be writing another function to update the complete value. So write another function to update if the value is completed or not. We'll call it toggle complete. Then pass in the index. Remember, we'll be using the index associated with to fetch the tags associated with the index. So the reason why we are passing in the index is that we are using the index to fetch in the tags that's associated with that index. So the visibility is public. We are creating a variable called to do tags of a type to do tags. Do tags storage to do, whether a variable of a type to do tasks. The name of the variable is to do. We are accessing the array, then imputing the index to show that we want to get the to do tags from the all that is associated with that index. Then we say to do dot completed equal to. So if the to do dot completed is false initially, we are toggling it to be true. If it is true, we are toggling it to be false. So if it's true, we'll change it to be false. If it's false, we'll change it to be true. So these are all the functions we're writing for the to-do list smart contract. So this is the license identifier, the compiler version, this is the contract, and this is the struct. I explained it before, and this is the to-do list, the array that is holding all the tags that is being passed into it. And this is a function for creating a tax. This is the function for fetching a tax. Is this for fetching a tax? This function get is for fetching a tax, and this function update is for updating the text of the tax. Then this other function is to update the Boolean value. If it's not completed, it can be changed to completed. If it's completed, it changed to not completed. So that's what the function toggle completed is doing. Now let's compile our smart contract. So what we'll do now, we'll just say npx add at compile to compile our smart contract. It has smart contract has compiled successfully. So the next thing we have to do is to write our test for the smart contract. So after building a smart contract, it is important that we always test our smart contract. So we'll be writing a test for this particular smart contract to ensure that all the functions are working as expected. So start writing our test.
Firstly, we are creating a test folder. Within the test folder, we'll create the test file. Name it test.js. We're importing the checking method, the expect method from the child library. It helps us to assert if what we expected and what the smart contract gives us is equivalent. So the next we'll be importing data from data library from the hardart library. Then we write describe. It's like a callback function. To-do list, contract. To we have to finish to write out the variables. Then write our before function. So we this in this before each function that we created, this function will deploy the contract before we run the test. So this function, whenever we run the test, the contract will be deployed using this within this function. Then while we are creating other function that we test the contract. So we are getting a signer from owner signer from the ether library. Then we set ether.get contract factory. The name of the contract is to-do list. If you notice, that's what we named it in our contract, to-do list. So we're getting the contract and we are passing it into this method that is found within the ether library, and it's an asynchronous. We await it and it return a value, and that value will write deployed on it, and it will return the address, and this is the address. So we will console log the address. After that, we can write the it block. The it block I will be fast in writing the test, so I won't give a detailed explanation about the test. But if you want me to give a detailed explanation of what I'm doing in this test file, you can add it in the comment below. So this is the string test we created. We called the create function. Yeah, we called the create function within the contract here. Then we passed in the test. So we called the get function that is within the smart contract and passed the index. Remember, the get function has an index. So whenever we are calling this function get, after we call the create function, we called the get function to check if the tax has been created. So we call the get function and we passed in, because this is the first task we are creating, so we passed in the 0 index. So it returns the task text and the text and the completed. So we'll do the same for other functions. So this other one, we should create a new task. That's the first one we did. The second one, which is this test, should update the text of an existing task. So in this, we are updating the text of an existing task. So we first of all called within this block, we first of all, we call the create function, and it gives and passed in the text to create a task. Then we call the update function and passed the index of the task which we want to update, which is 0. Then the new text we want to update, replace with the old one. So this is the new text. Then we call the get function here. So get the tax. So we got the tax. Then we check if the tax and the updated tax are, if the tax we got and the updated text, if the text we got rather and the updated text is the same. If it's equal, it will pass. But if it's not equal, it will throw an error. Same method for this. And so now let's run the test. Let's run the test and see. So we're going to write. Let's open the terminal and I want to clear the terminal. So I'm going to write npx add test. So now press enter to show us our results. Now you can see that the test was successful, and these are the feedback from tests. So this is the feedback from the test. So it all went through. We were able to test the create function, we were able to test the get function, the update text function, and toggle to do function. We tested it, and you can see that it's working perfectly. It all passed the test. So thank you for watching. See you in the next tutorial. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See you.